Coming to paperback and e-readers in 2021, John Haynes, Taking Care of Business. The man who rules the world breaks on a brand new partner to help him take care of business in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get John Haynes, Taking Care of Business in 2021 at online booksellers everywhere. I got a comment from a viewer who said that many of the comic book YouTubers oftentimes go out here and promote great books. But that's not what I see when I go to many of the comic YouTubers' channels, and an example of this is staring us all in the face. Now, your Tom Taylor has been doing some fantastic work at DC Comics. His miniseries, Deceased, is a fantastic take on an alternate universe of DC superheroes. But his greatest work so far has been his work on the hero Nightwing. Now, the Nightwing book was in shambles before Tom Taylor got a hold of it. The character was at his lowest point, stranded in a dreadful Rick Grayson storyline. However, once Tom Taylor got a hold of the character, I believe in issue number 80, he started what looks like to be a very fantastic run on the character. And from reading the 3 issues that Tom Taylor has put out so far, it feels like Dick Grayson is back to being Dick Grayson. And I'm not talking about just plain old Dick Grayson, I'm talking about 1990's Dick Grayson, because Nightwing 82, I believe, which he was teaming up with Tim Drake, felt like a comic that came straight from the late 1990s and really brought us back to the glory days of Dick Grayson's relationship with Tim Drake, and really brought us back to the action and adventure of the old school 1990s. And that's one of the things that I have an issue with, is that many of these comic YouTubers who complain about comics being so bad, they have not said a single word about this spectacular run that Tom Taylor is having on Nightwing. No, we have not heard a single word from any of these comic book YouTubers telling readers to go out here and pick up this Nightwing series, or to go out here and support Tom Taylor's fantastic work on Deceased, which he did previously. I mean, if a creator is out here doing great work, we should be out here promoting that creator, because I thought your Comicsgate was all about trying to get good comics in the hands of readers, but it doesn't seem like that, because here is an absolutely great book that is being published at DC Comics right now, Nightwing, which is practically sold out at the printer level, and had to go back for a second run on several issues because the book was getting so much word of mouth that readers wanted to go out here and get this book. So you don't hear them talking about Nightwing and how well it's doing. No, all you hear on Comics YouTube is all about social justice warriors and scandals like that Warren Ellis is going through. No, that's what they're talking about. But I thought the goal of Comicsgate and many of the comic YouTube channels was supposed to be all about getting good comics in readers' hands. But that doesn't seem to be the case at all. No, all we get is more back and forth drama, and that's not what the comics community should be all about. No, the comics community should be all about going out here and helping readers find great books, because if the American comic book industry is in such bad shape as many of the comic book YouTubers allege, then maybe we should be going out here and promoting many of the really good titles that are being produced regardless of the publisher. Because whether it be an indie publisher like I promote all the time on this channel, or a Marvel or a DC comic that the creators are doing solid work on, you would think they should be out here trying to get more readers out here to pick these books up. But no, many of the comics YouTubers, they focus on drama and gossip, and they focus on going after creators that they don't like who post all sorts of foolishness on social media. And it seems like this quest for social clout really has not been helping the comics industry, which again has been for 2 months straight beaten by manga titles. So that really shows me how backwards the priorities of comics YouTube is. I mean, here we are in the second month where your manga titles have been going out here and dominating the top 20, but instead of them talking about ways to get readers to pick up really great comics, no, they are sitting here complaining about all of the bad comics and complaining about all of the social justice warriors that they have issues with, and they sit here and go back and forth with these people as related to the ridiculous posts that they post online as related to getting clout on social media. Well, clout is not going to go out here and generate sales. No, what's going to generate sales is quality content. And the quality content is out there. Unfortunately, many in comics YouTube are more focused on maintaining their social clout on social media, and they're focused on trying to get views for their channel. And the best way that they get views for their channel is by continuing to talk about all of the drama that goes on in the comics community here in America. But that's really counterproductive when you really think about it critically, because you're going out here and talking about this drama that's going on. This isn't going out here and generating sales. No, what's generating sales is going to be quality books, and what will really get people energized to go out here and view a channel, I believe, is starting to talk about many of the really good books that have been produced by your independent comic publishers, giving a lot of these guys a push. And also, let's start talking about really good books that are being produced like Nightwing, which have been practically ignored by the comics community on YouTube. No, they haven't said a single word about what I believe to be one of the best runs of the 2020s, looking like starting out so far with Tom Taylor. But they haven't even gone out here and praised this man. I mean, I've gone on Twitter and told Tom Taylor he's been doing fantastic work, and I look at this book, and again, it's another example of what's been going on with many of your comic YouTubers who say, oh, they go out here and endorse good books. Well, I haven't heard a single YouTuber ever talk about any of the last 3 issues of Nightwing. Haven't heard a single thing about them speaking about this book. And again, this book feels like something straight out of the late 90s, and feels like something that really it's just like picking up where you left off in the late 90s with the character, but nobody has said a single word about Nightwing. And that again shows how comics YouTube really isn't about comics. It has become a whole place that's all about drama. It's become a place where it's about going out here and going into back and forths with these so-called SJW creators, and not going out here to praise the talent that has been going out here and putting in that work, and not going out here and trying to get sales so that comics in America can actually go out here and compete with manga. No, a lot of these guys, they want to talk about Marvel and DC in a bad way, and that's not going to, again, get you any favor with these publishers, because talking about SJWs does not really help this business. No, we need people, if you want to help save this business, to start talking about selling comics like I do on the SJS Direct Imprint. When I go out here and I talk about comics, I want to do this to sell books, whether it be mine or somebody else's, because I understand that this business is sales, and the more people buying books, means that the business can go on, and it also means that other talented writers and artists can go out here and find work and be able to go out here and make a living. So I understand what's important about this whole business, and I understand that we cannot sit here and say, oh, the comic book industry is falling apart, the comic book industry is crumbling. But if you want to go out here and help the business, you want to make sure that these books are selling. Now, some of these people who are comics YouTubers, they have their own projects, and they think that their projects are going to be the thing that saves the industry. Well, that's not going to happen, because no one book is going to save an industry. No one book is going to go out here and reverse decades of damage to the structure of the business model. No one book is going to turn an entire industry around. No matter what you're thinking about a Giant Size X-Men #1 or Amazing Fantasy 15, those books did not just turn around a struggling comic book industry in 1 month. No, it took years for those characters to find an audience, and it took years for those characters to build momentum. And again, it took other titles being published alongside them to keep that business afloat. So a lot of these people on comics YouTube, they really don't understand the publishing business, and they really don't understand how many of their videos really are not really helping readers find books. And that's, again, a big problem, because, again, a lot of these people complain, oh, they don't make really good comics. But there's a very good comic on the shelf that DC Comics is producing right now, but nobody's talking about that comic, so it can go out here and get those six-figure sales that would really start to put some stability into the whole comics book marketplace. Now, if you want to try my first comic, Esteem No Good Deed, you can find that comic on Kindle for 99 cents. And if you want to pick up many of my fantasy titles on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy and the Thetas, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.